In today's video, we're going to make a confetti heart brush and use it to create this art piece. We're going to start out with an 8.5 by 11 inch canvas, and then we're going to tap the wrench and canvas and drawing guide to toggle it on. And then we're going to select edit drawing guide, and we're going to slide that grid size all the way up to max. And then we're just adjust the grid just so that it's something you can see, whatever you like. And then press done when you're done. Then we're going to go over and select the color picker, and we're going to tap near black twice so we get black, and then we're going to tap the brush icon to open up the library and select the calligraphy set, and then we're going to slide the monoline brush to the left gently and duplicate it. We're going to come back to that duplicate in just a moment. Now we're going to go ahead and draw an arc, and actually it's more of a half ellipse on one half of the canvas, and then just hold it to invoke the quick shapes, and then we're going to go ahead and tap it to edit it. And you can change this sort of the width of it all just by sort of tapping on the blue dots and moving them around where you want them. Eventually what we want to do, once we have the sort of size that we want for our half heart, is that we want to line up the ends of the line on that center line of our grid. And then once we do that, we're going to go over to our layer panel, pop it open again, and we're going to duplicate that layer. And then we're going to come over to our move and transform tool, and we're going to flip it horizontally, that layer, and we're just going to position it so that the ends of our lines touch each other over that horizontal line. Then we're going to go ahead and open up that layer panel and merge that copy down. And we're going to fill it with black. And then, just adjusting it using the threshold so there's no gap in the color between the shape and the line, the outline. Then we're going to tap wrench, add, copy canvas to copy our heart drawing. And then we're going to go back over to that copy of the monoliner. We're going to tap it open to get to the brush studio. And then we're going to go ahead and tap shape, edit, import, and paste to update the shape. And if it comes in like this, tap it with 2 fingers to invert it. We want the white to be the shape. Then tap done when you're done. And then we're going to go over to the brush path and adjust the spacing to about 55% and the jitter to about 50% or so. Let's test that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, and then we're going to go over to stabilization, and we're going to take that all the way down to none. I just prefer my brushes without that. Then we're going to tap properties, brush behavior, maximum size, and set that to about 178%. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to go over to the dynamics and adjust jitter to about 64%. All right, then we're going to go back to our shape, and we're going to adjust the scatter to maximum. That looks great. I love that. Okay, so let's see. And then we want to tap the about this brush and add in a title and the name of the brush, the title of the brush, our name. And then also I like to create a reset point. So we're going to do that in case we ever want to play with this brush. We have a place to take it back to. So go ahead and tap reset point, and you can save your brush. And then when you're done, you can, oh, wait a second. There's one more thing we want to do here. We want to go over to the color dynamics, and we're going to change the stamp color jitter, the hue, saturation, and lightness to 10%. And this will make our little hearts jitter around in color just in a range that, like in the reds and the pinks, something that looks really great. And then tap done when you're done. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and add a new layer to test out our brush. We're going to hide that other layer. And so then let's select that purple color. Oh, that looks great. Okay, I love it. That's so cute. Okay, erasing that, we're gonna go back over to our palette here, and our layer is empty. We're gonna select that blue color right there from the palette, which I'll leave a link in the description below, and fill that layer with blue. Then let's create a new layer on top of that, and we're going to go back and select red, and we're going to choose our regular monoline brush, not the new one, the other one, and we're just going to draw sort of a diagonal ellipse and just hold to invoke smart shapes. And then let's go ahead and fill it, and then we're going to go to our Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur that up to about 42%, and we're just doing that for now because I might want to change that later on. Then we're going to create a new layer on top of that, and we're going to select a white, so just double tap in the white area, and we're going to draw with our monoliner, we're going to draw a heart shape, and then we're going to just go ahead and fill that, and we're also going to change the Gaussian blur on that. And this is kind of like our sun in the background as we're creating this drawing, and I don't know, somewhere around 24% looks pretty good for this particular one, but I kind of feel like maybe I want to adjust those. So we kind of play with these 2 layers together, adjust down the opacity. I think I want to go back to that red, yeah. And let's bring that Gaussian blur up a little bit for that one. Just again, kind of trying to create sort of a hint of a sun in the background, but with a heart shape because, it's Valentine's. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, let's go and add a new layer on top. And then we're going to select the calligraphy script brush here, and we're going to go ahead and select that sort of darker purpley color there, and we're going to draw a tree. And so with the script brush, you know, the harder you press, the thicker it is, and so we're going to kind of adjust how we press as we're drawing our branches. So a little bit more pressure towards the start from the trunk, and then get lighter and lighter as you go out to the tips, and then just create, you know, basic tree. There we go. All right, then we're going to create a duplicate of this layer, and we're going to select the first one, and we're going to recolor that. We're going to go over to black here, so double tap in there and get black, and we're just going to drop it into the shape because we want to turn that under tree into black. Then with that selected, we're going to go over to our move and transform tool, and we're just going to tap it down so that we reposition it sort of down and to the right a little bit, just like that. Awesome. It gives a little outline, gives a little bit of dimension. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add a new layer on top of everything, and we're going to go, let's see, we're going to go create sort of these cute little birds in the black that we still have. And so just a kind of selection, you know, sort of a suggestion of what a bird looks like. We're just making a silhouette, so kind of a little head and kind of a thicker middle, and then some feathers, and then a little beak in there. So, you know, obviously you can get way more detailed than this. This is just a suggestion. It's kind of, you know, an abstraction. It's not like realism here. All right, that's cute. Okay, I like the way that looks. Okay, so now let's see, they're in front of the sun. That's an important part. They're kind of in front of that heart sun there. We're going to create a new layer on top, and then we're going to select that brighter magenta color for our hearts. And so we're going to go up and select that new heart brush that we created, and we're just going to, you know, dial it around, play with it until you get what you want, and then just kind of lay down leaves wherever you like to lay down leaves, you know, around those limbs. And oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Anyway, okay, so we're going to go ahead and create a duplicate of this, just like we did with the tree, and then select that bottom one, and then we're going to put a layer in between the two, and we're going to select clipping mask and fill it with black so that the bottom hearts are black, and then we're just going to go ahead and merge down that layer so they truly are black, and then we're going to reposition that again, tapping it down to the right and bottom just a little bit so it adds dimension. I like the way that looks. Okay, now we're going to add a new layer on top of the layer stack, and then we're going to select the painting watercolor brush. And I love this brush. Let's see, painting. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to select white. And then, let's see, then we're going to just kind of paint in sort of vertical striping on this layer. I know it looks kind of weird right now. It's a little bit transparent there. That's fine. And so what we want to do is do vertical strokes, like I said, and then we're going to come over to our blend mode, and we're going to dial down the opacity about 30%, and then we're going to change the blend mode to add, and then it just adds a nice sort of, I don't know, a very artsy look to it. And I'm still not happy with that red, so let's redraw it. We're going to go over to our monoliner, draw the red ellipse again, fill it. I wanted it to be a lot bigger, so that's what I'm doing, and you can adjust yours however you like. And so then we're just kind of adjusting the size there, and then going back over to my Gaussian blur to blur that again. And ooh, I like this. I think the way that it interacts with that top layer is really fun. So again, you know, letting your inner artist be the boss here. Okay, so we're gonna go back up to that top layer, and with red still selected, we're gonna go ahead and tap add and text. And this is only, you know, this is optional. You don't have to do this, but I kind of wanted to do this. So I'm gonna do Happy Valentine's Day, kind of naturally. And then once I have this all typed out, I'm gonna go ahead and double tap all the words, select them. And I'm selecting Fabiana, and I'll leave a link in the description below, but it's basically from dafont.com, this particular font. And I think it looks pretty nice. Then I'm gonna go ahead, and once I'm satisfied sort of with the size of this, I'm gonna go ahead and let's see, I think I want it to be more of that magenta color rather than red. And I'm gonna duplicate it. And then I'm gonna take that duplicate, the bottom one, and I'm gonna put a layer over the top and select clipping mask. And I'm gonna add white in there. And then I'm gonna merge that down to rasterize a layer. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use Gaussian blur against it because I want to make sort of a glow. And let's see, I'm just going to select Gaussian blur, and I'm going to dial that up to about 7%. And right now you can't quite see what's going on here, but in a second you will. I'm going to go over to the blend mode and select add for that layer. Oops. Okay. And let's see, where is that? There we go. All right, checking a couple different ones. There's add, and that's the one I really like. And I think that adds a lot of, it's not just a line, it's a nice blended line, and I just think it looks really good. So I'm going to select both of those layers together to reposition them, and until I'm sort of happy. And you're just eyeballing it here. There's no rules or anything like that. And I think that looks pretty good. Maybe make it a little smaller there. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay. And let's see, now I want to select all of these and create a group, because now we're ready to make this a card. And this is why we created the grid we did. So now let's go ahead. I'm using snapping to help me here, but I'm just going to change the size by using my move and transform tool on the group. And I'm filling that little corner quadrant there. And then I'm turning off the background, and I'm selecting copy canvas and paste. And it's pasted a new layer on all of the artwork on a new layer. So now I can take the move and transform tool with that copy and move it over to the other side. And I'm ready to go ahead and print this and cut it. And there you go. There's kind of the finished product of my Valentine's Day cards. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope your day is amazing.